What is crack-a-lackin'? What is crack-a-lackin'? If I get everybody to give me a 5 for 5, then I'm going to get started. Guys, it's getting ready to thunderstorm here again. Some more training. We're under a flood watch again. Hey, Jammer, good to see you. So I'm going to try to make this as brief as I can. It'll be about probably 15, 20 minutes, but let me just get to it, okay, guys? So if I miss you guys in the chat, I trust my mods. My moderators are awesome. Best mods on the planet, in my opinion. But I'll just go ahead and get into it. All right, guys. Hey, we got this coronal hole, and I got this image up because of this. That's the actual size of Earth compared to this coronal hole. We'll go more into that here in a minute. We had an M-class flare from a sunspot that is incoming. It's rotating in, and it gave us a radio blackout already. Check that out. Okay, and we'll go more into that. Also, plus we've had 3 solar storms in the past 2 days. And they got to G1, well actually we got to a G2 briefly, but we'll go more into that. This is the magnetopause. This is showing all that energy hitting Earth. Okay, this is the Australian version of that. We'll go into that a little bit more. But this right here is where I'm going to be showing you we got to a G2. So we'll go into that a little bit too. But here's that flare right here. Pay attention right here. This is from our point of view. It is the 131 angstrom of light, and it looks at specific gases. So that's what you're seeing there. And this is our geo-electric field model. This is what we look at. This is electric field, not magnetic field, okay? So space weather affects this. So this is our space weather's effect on electrical grid system. We use this to help us forecast earthquakes. So it's a newer tool. It's a couple years old now. They're getting better and better at it. As you can see, look, yeah, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of what I said was going to happen, and it did. But anyway, this is NOAA's forecasting. We are now at an increased risk of X flares because of all of the one incoming. We actually have a 35% chance of significant R1, R2 flares also. So I'll leave that at that. We'll get that in a minute. We'll go over some Aurora forecasting here also. Plus, check this out. This is from Draconis. I'm not sure if he's in here or not, but this is actually his photograph, Aurora, from, I believe, the 17th. I forget exactly where he lives. So we'll have to I'll get with him. If he's in there and somebody sees him, it's Aquila Draconis. He's in here all the time. You guys know him. So just let him know to just try to figure out where he lives. I didn't see that in the email. So anyway, plus, guys, look. Man-made crater on the moon, brand new one. Guess what? They're calling it the SpaceX crater because the chunk of the SpaceX rocket that hit there left a crater. And why wouldn't it? You know what I mean? But it's a very significant thing. Now, you know, it's been a long time since we've been doing stuff like that up there. So, and I know people have questions about whether what's going on up there is real and all that, but I'm not going to get into that. So, but anyway, let me go ahead and run my intro, and I'll see you guys in about 10 seconds. Okay, guys, thank you guys for being here, and yeah, so I'm going to just kind of get to the information because I do got a thunderstorm coming, and I don't want to, lose power and stuff. My internet went off yesterday for no reason. And the reason I think it did was because of all the flooding and stuff that's going around. It's something we got to take in consideration that even though we might have some, we don't have standing water here right now, they do around me. So if they're having issues of just, outside of where I live, it could actually affect where I live. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So let me just briefly talk about this. This is that coronal hole. This is on HelioViewer. I use this to show you guys. I used to use it all the time. But I'm using this to show you Earth scale. Look at that. Okay, that's how big this hole is. Now there's one down here too. Now this is rotating out of Earth's strike zone. Earth's strike zone is kind of like right here. But we're probably still connected to that. We're going to get some fast solar wind from that. Now whether or not it puts us up into geomagnetic storming again, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. And so we'll just talk about that when it actually happens. But right here, this is the D region. This is what we look at. This is showing the energy in the D region. Sorry. Yeah, I had somebody. Never mind. Anyway, right here, and it did when these in flares happen. Okay, this happened, and you can suss this out yourself, right? You can look at the timing. Watch when this flare hits. Right there, right. Well, let's just do it this way. I'll pause it and grab the slider, and we'll look at the time. Okay. So, and this is also going to show you how fast X-ray get here because it's almost immediate. It's 8 minutes. So that flare started happening about what time? What's it look like there? 1852. And I haven't even looked. So let's go look at the D region and what time that hit. Oh, imagine that. 1907. Well, we can even back it up. Look, 1848. So, yeah. So we can definitely say that radio blackout was caused by that flare. And this flare, this sunspot, is still behind the limb a little bit. This thing is already showing activity of this level. And we got one over here that thankfully is actually rotating out because this one was starting to get active again too. This is the one that actually caused all the geomagnetic storms this week. So it's rotating off. This one here might even be like the second time around the sun. I'm not quite sure. But if you look at that, I mean, it's going to rotate more and more and more and more. And if it stays together like that and becomes unstable when it's here, that's what we got to look at. We got to pay attention, But yeah. Okay. All right. So this is the same imaging as this. It's just a different website. Okay. But I can't show you Earth scale here. So that's why I use the other one. But this is what it's looking like right now. This is the 211 angstrom, like I said before. But if we go down here and we look at the actual magnetic polarity of the sunspots, okay, this is the sun, and I left the grid on it so we could see how close they're getting to the equator. This thing is almost on the equator. Why is that important? Well, because when they start getting onto the equator, that means that the sun's getting ready to have a magnetic pole flip. When that happens, you're going to see where this is red and blue, like left, right. It's going to flip. Okay? So, just really quick, I'm going to say this. Right now, all the magnetic field lines on the sun are getting pulled horizontal. Okay? When it flips, what happens is almost all the magnetic field lines go straight vertical again. That's why they start showing up down here and up here when we start seeing them again. As we're going to slip into solar minimum, and as we start coming out of that, we're going to start seeing sunspots migrate again down towards the equator. Okay? So how that happens is when it flips, everything goes vertical again like a bar magnet. And what was now positive up here would be positive down here, and vice versa with the negative. So what happens through time, because the sun's rotating, these lines start to get pulled horizontal. That's why they don't just go straight to the equator, right? They start here, they're kind of getting bent a little bit, right? It's just from the rotation of the sun. Like that. You see how I'm doing that? And then as time goes on, we're doing this. Okay, and then finally it's almost completely horizontal, and that's when it flips. Okay? So that's just a really quick way. Now, why is that, why is the magnetic field lines important for a sunspot? Guys, that's really what a sunspot is. It's a kink in the magnetic field line, and it pokes through the surface. Okay? And I'll get more into detail with that on another day. But I haven't really talked about that in a while, and I do get that question quite often. And I'm willing to answer any question anybody has. There's a pretty interesting comment in the comment section too. I'm not sure if he's here or not. Hey Ripper, what's up? If you're in here, I think it was what's his name, Wade or something like that. If you're in here, man, sure, I'll answer your question. I'll wait if you're in here, but I'm going to wait till you're in the chat because I've answered that question a lot, and it does take a minute to explain it. So I'm not really going to go there unless you're here to hear it. So anyway, we'll just do it that way. I'll even send you a Zoom link, and we can have a conversation live. But anyway, here is the magnetic pressure. So the sun's off to the left. This is our magnetic field protecting Earth. Solar wind hits our magnetic field and it creates this magnetopause. It almost looks like a comet because it's very similar to it. Okay? We're traveling through space just like everything. So when a comet's going towards the sun, unless it has an anti-tail, which is a whole nother conversation, it will look like a comet. The tail gets stretched out. Why? Same reason it gets stretched out here. Because the solar wind's coming from the sun. And it's hitting whatever magnetic protection it has, and it blows it off the back. Okay? Now remember, our magnetic field isn't like a blanket. Okay? We're kind of sitting in the middle of a donut. This is a top-down view, and this is a side cut. Okay? So when you look at this one over here, you're looking at the sun from the side. Right? Magnetosphere has a really good way of explaining it. And I've used it before because it's really easy to understand. It's like somebody took the Earth and dropped it in the middle of a slinky. Take a slinky and put it around the Earth completely. Each little metal piece or plastic piece that's kind of coiled up is a magnetic field line. It's a really awesome way to explain that. Now, she does it in her classrooms too. And I'm talking about Magnetosphere. If you guys don't know her, she's a space weather woman. I shout her out all the time. It's like free college. So go check out her channel. But anyway, but that's how our magnetic field is, and Earth is in the middle of that. And so this is our protection. Earth is doing its job, okay, when it's deflecting this stuff, right? So when we see these kind of intense, signatures, I guess, like just active, Earth is doing its job. You see how we kind of got a little bit of a dead space in here? That really does mean that Earth is doing its job. It's not getting in very well. And the reason is because we weren't in the negative there. Right? But I will show you this. Where is that at? Where did the real... Here it is. I don't like showing graphs because they're boring. Right? But I'm going to show you guys this one because this is so dead on and easy for people to see when I show you this. Okay? I always tell you guys, look at the -6, right, on the BZ. Look for -6. That's this red line. Okay, that's the BZ. I'm not going to get into any kind of deep part there. But as you see this, it'll go down. Here's -10. So what that basically means is our magnetic positioning is in a negative position pointing south. And what it does is, let me find that one here. You see this is a side view? When this is pointed south, it opens up the North Pole. I could probably find a spot on here where it actually moves. A lot of times you can see it. You see that move right there? See how it kind of dipped down that way? See that? So if this dips more and more and more and more, it's leaving this open. Look what's happening. You see how you don't have as much pressure here and you got it more up here? It's directly because of the BZ. The positioning of our magnetic field at the time. That's why you have more pressure up here. Now, that's also why, like, Aurora, they say Aurora loves equinoxes, right? Or is it so? Yeah, it's equinoxes. So, and that's because we're in a position that we just let things in easy, and it produces a lot of Aurora. But, yeah. So, let's go back to, where was I at? I was here, I think. I kind of forgot where I was at. Okay, anyway, yeah, so, I was showing you guys the real-time data here. Okay, now, -6, right there, right? What happened? Come down here. This is the KP. They've added this to this bar graph because it needs to be here because it's so easy to see when I show you this. -6, look what happened. Geomagnetic storm hit. -6, geomagnetic storm. -6, geomagnetic storm. Now, every time we get to -6 does not mean that we're going to have a geomagnetic storm, though. Okay? But what you're going to see, this isn't even, this is showing purple, but it's not -6 yet. Now, I know I'm like sticking on that -6. We could be at a -2 and still get a geomagnetic storm if the CME is strong enough. Okay? It's not a prerequisite for a geomagnetic storm to have that -6 present while it's hitting. It's just most of the time that it is. Now, if the magnetic fields inside the solar wind itself from this coronal hole are the opposite of what we're at Earth, they will couple together and we'll draw all that in. And when we draw all that in, it produces aurora, geomagnetic storming. And that's one of the biggest reasons why the sun, coronal holes, are a big precursor to big earthquakes on Earth. Okay, this is a big deal when it comes to earthquake prediction. All right. Now, you know, I'm not the earthquake guy. I report on them, and I know the basics. But I would point you over to Ron, Emergency Management Associates, and go check out the Carrington 24 app, 2024 app. They've redesigned it, and it's awesome. And I'll be getting more into that here in the next week or so. I want to show you guys that app, and it's really cool. I got some really cool stuff coming for you guys, okay? So anyway, if we're going to go here, we got to a G2. That was during that second geomagnetic storm. We were only there for a very short amount of time. Now, technically, they're going to call this a G1 because that's only a 30-minute plot point, okay? And I've went over this at nauseum before, too, but I have to say it almost every time just so the people that don't know do know. This is a 3-hour average, okay? This is 30-minute averages. And this is a 10-day graph here. Now, I could put this in full screen, sorry. So you guys can probably see that better now. Sorry, guys. You guys are on your phone. This is probably easier now. Now, you can see this. Now, this is the German website. Please come over and check them out, too, because they got a lot of cool stuff over here, too. So I look at it often. But you can see, and even as right now, this is real time, by the way. We're creeping back up. We're at a 4 right now. Now, I don't know why. It could be the beginning of the coronal hole stream hitting. Okay? So, yeah, let's just keep that in mind. Now, if I come here, again, this is the geoelectric field. Again, earthquakes. That's why they have this. It's always going to be more active up here. Space weather affects geoelectric field, right? Geomagnetism affects geoelectric. Geomagnetism is from space, okay? At least what we're talking about here. Now, again, it's going to be more prominent up here because that's where a lot of the energy gets in because we're not as protected up here, okay? Matter of fact, pilots and people that fly often, they have restrictions on pilots that they cannot fly during certain conditions for so many hours because of radiation. Now, they'll put out cosmic ray alerts during solar minimum, and pilots, and especially women that are pregnant, they have to pay attention to this. Now, remember, the further up you go, the more you are susceptible to any of this. So if you're flying at 35,000 feet, if you see what I'm saying. Now, flying at 35,000 feet down here is different than flying 35,000 feet up here. You get up here and you're going 35,000 feet, you're getting exposed to quite a bit of stuff. So that's why they restrict it. That's why they restrict the pilots, the cabin crew, and they do not advise pregnant women to fly in those conditions, at least for extended periods of time. It's much like, you know, pregnant women, they don't want them having x-rays anymore. I'm not sure if you guys knew that or not. Some people don't know that. Kids, they don't want kids, especially, well, I don't want to say especially boys, but it does affect boys' reproduction more than it does a girl, but it does affect the girl too, okay? So the new rule is don't give x-rays to kids unless they need it. You know, if you got a bone that's busted and they need to see what's going on, obviously, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Get the x-ray. But if they're like, he had a stomach ache and because he had a, you know, the little baby had a little bit of peanut butter or something that gave it gas. You know, they used to do x-rays and stuff just to rule things out, even knowing that it was going to be most likely something simple. They don't do that anymore. It's much like the antibiotic thing, okay? The antibiotic thing is crazy too. They won't prescribe an antibiotic unless they really think you're sick. Most docs won't do it unless they test you first. Unless you're like, you come in there and you got 105 fever or something. That's different. But they don't just dole out antibiotics anymore because we're starting to get resistant. The bacteria is getting resistant to the current antibiotics, and they got to keep changing them. Aurora, okay? Geomagnetic storms, what I just showed you, causes these aurora. This is the forecast, okay? So tomorrow, guys, get out there and look, okay? You guys can see some. This could stretch down, depends on how much more it is. Now this right here is a forecasting model, and what they do is this is it's like a day behind. It shows you what's already happened. It's not really like going out ahead. It's not really a forecast. It's just showing you what has happened. But this is the North Pole and South Pole. So you're going to see the stuff increase. Boy, that jumped a lot of time right there, didn't it? Wonder what happened there. Wow, I jumped 12 hours. Look at that. Wonder why. Probably just had a glitch. But this right here is current. Do you see what happened right there? See how that is starting to show some more aurora? Now if I come here, the north is doing it too. That right there shows you exactly what this is showing you. See how we're popping up here? If that continues to go up, we're definitely going to get some more aurora. Right now. Wherever you're at. I mean, I don't know where you guys are at, but you know. By the way, give me a roll call in there if you could. But as you can see, guys, we had 3 of these happening. This is nothing to be scared about, okay? So I'm not trying to say anything like that. Don't be scared of any of this stuff. Scared. Did you hear me? Anyway, but this is his photography. Achilles Acronis. Guys, I mean it's awesome. I've never personally seen it with my own eyes, and I hope to one day be able to do that. If you guys have any kind of cool photos like this, please send them to me. I'll show them. I'll give you, I'll shout you out, whatever. It don't have to be Aurora either. It could be anything. If it's cool stuff, we'll show it, okay? Don't be afraid to email me and tell me about that stuff. Also, guys, I'll be doing a members only this weekend. I got some new stuff I want to go over with you guys. If any of you guys like, do you guys like Star Wars? If you guys like Star Wars, you're not going to want to miss this upcoming members only. There's a new fan film out. It's about 20 minutes long, and they didn't use any AI. The guy paid for it himself, and it is awesome. It's freaking. It's 20 minutes long. It's awesome. It's got Mace Windu in it. So if anybody knows Star Wars, oh my gosh. And he told everybody, show it to everybody you can. They won't be copy strike anybody. He told all the reacting channels and everything, use it. I just want everybody to see it. He rented out a theater. Guys, this is a guy that just has a YouTube channel and sells Star Wars lightsabers online. And he does a lot more within the community of Star Wars, but man, dude, man. He is awesome. And he said he spent it was like $2 million of his own money. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, man. But he told the community, use it. Go show everybody. There's a part 1 to it too, but it was done like 8 years ago. It's still good. It's just not as good as the second one. But I can tell you that Mace Windu and Darth Vader are in the second one. And it is awesome. Anyway. So that's what I got going on. Plus, guys, I think I'm going to start doing like, haven't decided on what the numbers are going to be, but like some sort of like if somebody gifts like 5 memberships or something like that, I'm going to send them a deck of cards. Those kinds of things. And I might, anybody who becomes a member or buys membership, gifts them to people. At the end of each show, I'll put you guys in a random number generator and give at least 1 or 2 decks of cards out like that also. So if you guys are interested in being a member, come over here and just join us. We have a really good time. I'm trying to build the memberships back up, trying to get it back to where it was before I took my hiatus for a couple months. But yeah. By By the way, still need prayers for my daughter. She did get some good news from the doctor today, but there's still things going on. I'm not going to get into it, but thank you guys for all the prayers, and please continue those. She's a sweetie, and I just, my wife and my daughter and my two sons it's my life, man. I just can't. It just, yeah. When your kids are sick and they're going through stuff, it just doesn't. There's nothing you can do to make yourself feel better. It's just really not, and it's just that way. So, I would just, Tamantha Sco should be on Star Talk. Yeah, for sure. TED Talk, you mean? Yeah, John. She should be. She should have her own TED Talk. She used to work for NASA. Guys, I'm going to be talking about some anti-gravity technology too. This stuff is crazy. And it's real. And I'll be showing it to you guys here in the next week or so. So that's coming. All right? But yeah. So anyway, prayers for everybody out there. Anybody out there that was in here that I didn't get to say hi to. Sorry I missed the roll call, but it is getting ready to storm here. And give some love to the mods in there if you would. I always forget that. Hey, Jeremy, good to see you, bud. Linda, good to see everybody in here. Thank you, Wise Jim. Appreciate you. Laura, Josie, John, Trust and Obey. I love that name. Linda, I think I said hi to you already, but say it again. Trust and Obey again. Justice Keys, what's happening? Greeny Page, Justice Keys again. Karen, what's happening? Virginia's in here. Where are you from? Just kidding. That might just be your name, though, I guess. Yeah. Kentucky, Laura. Hey, Laura, good to see you. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. We're going to put it over here on this one. We'll just let this run on this particular imaging. And, yeah. So I will see you tomorrow, most likely. If anything happens between now and then, kind of big. I hope to see you guys. And we'll do it there. But, yeah. So, God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid.